Steam's 2024 summer sale just started, and if you're anything like me, you're probably itching to spend your hard-earned cash on some new games. Well, look no further. This year I've chosen my personal favorite picks that you may have overlooked. All incredible games, and of course, the most bang for your buck. All prices and discount calculations will be shown in USD, so apologies for that in advance. Of course, if there's any bangers I missed, feel free to let me know in the comments. Enough the intro though, let's get into it. First on my list is Katana Zero. This retro neo-noir action platformer is discounted for 40% right now, knocking its price from $14.99 to $8.99. With fast-paced combat and a killer soundtrack, this is one of my favorite games I've played recently. Featuring instant death combat, you must use your environment, reflexes, and time-bending abilities to uncover a criminal conspiracy. Its story features many twists and turns across a wide variety of levels where you'll encounter interesting enemies and brutal bosses. I can all but guarantee you'll love this game, and even for full price, it's on a discount. Second is Void Bastards, one of my own pickups this year. This roguelike is said to be inspired by Bioshock and System Shock 2, which is pretty interesting for a game like this. You're tasked with leading a group of spacefaring misfit prisoners through a series of derelict ships stranded in the Sargasso Nebula. The prisoners each have their own unique traits, and after one dies, another takes their place, meaning each one will have different modifiers. Using various tools you find between stages, you'll have to lead the Void Bastards to safety. This one has a lot of really cool design choices and obviously a super unique art style, all of which work incredibly for the campy space adventure it takes place in. There's a shocking amount of strategy involved too, requiring you to plan out your runs between choosing which stage to go to or map out your route by looking at a ship's layout. Void Bastards is currently 70% off, making its $29.99 price tag just $8.99. Next we have No Rest for the Wicked, a fairly new RPG with Souls-like combat. This one isn't on a huge sale, but the 20% still puts the game from $39.99 to $31.99. No Rest was created by the developers of Ori and the Blind Forest and its acclaimed sequel. Although it's very different, you can definitely see the influence, especially in the fluid, exaggerated animations. Its unique art style lends itself perfectly to the grim world and these over-exaggerated movements of the characters. Combining the Souls-like combat mechanics with rich Diablo-like elements with its item system and town management creates something really interesting. It's a bit tough, but for fans of Souls-likes and traditional dungeon crawlers, I highly recommend this one. One thing though to make note of is that the game is currently in early access. There's a solid amount of content in the game already, but there's a lot more to come. It just depends how you feel about that early access tag. Moving on, we have one you've almost certainly heard of, maybe even played, Alien Isolation. Now, I know, most folks at this point, again, have probably gotten around to this one. However, for the people who haven't, you are really missing out. Currently sitting at $9.99 from its $39.99 base price, Isolation is way too cheap to not get your hands on. Set in the infamous Alien universe, play as Amanda Ripley searching for her missing mother aboard the Sevastopol space station. This year, Isolation will be 10 years old actually, and still it remains one of the best looking games I've played, especially for its time. It's tense, scary, and just really, really good. This is the definitive Alien game, at least for now, but it's going to be a must-buy for horror fans all around. Now we have Friends vs. Friends, which is a first-person PvP deck builder. In this one, you pick between a bunch of different characters, each with their own passive abilities. However, there's also cards, which function as their own abilities. Cards can provide you with new weapons, buffs, debuffs, or special tools to give you the edge on your opponent. You can combine different types of cards into decks, which you use in battle. FVF is one that I've played a lot of. The whole game is PvP, but it includes 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, and free-for-all modes to play either with friends or online against randoms, but bot modes are also available. I love this one. I picked it up with a friend during the winter sale, and it's a great game to open and play a few hours of every now and then. DLC is purely to support the developers and get some cosmetics, and the pace of unlocking new cards is steady and honestly perfect. They also release new characters and cards from time to time for free, ensuring that there's always new stuff to mess around with. FVF is currently just $2.49, and it is well worth that price. Following FVF is Batman Arkham Knight, which is currently $1.99. $1.99! $2 for this game should be illegal. This is the final entry in what is probably one of the best game franchises of all time, but jumping into this one without prior knowledge probably wouldn't be too bad. However, lucky for you, the entire collection is available on Steam for just $8.99, giving you all of the games and their great DLCs for that criminally low price. I'm not sure what else I even need to say. These games are just amazing, all of them. For, again, just $8.99, you can grab every single one of the world's greatest detectives' most acclaimed titles. Next up we have Animal Well, which is probably one of the highest profile indie games out there right now. This is a retro platformer where you play as a little critter exploring a vast ecosystem, tasked with collecting flames to uncover the secrets of the well. I played this one on stream around the time it came out, and I absolutely loved it. The discount isn't anything super crazy, but this is one I'm going to recommend regardless of its price. For fans of platformers and games where the content simply does not seem to end after the main game, you're gonna love Animal Well's countless intricate secrets. Disco Elysium is another game that's gotten an absurd amount of praise, which is a detective story-driven RPG. I actually haven't played this one myself yet, but I've seen very few games with the level of adoration that this gets. Although I can't speak on its quality personally, everyone who plays it has nothing but reverence for the game, so I'll allow you to make judgments for yourself. Regardless, the game is currently 90% off, putting its initial $40 price tag all the way down to $3.99, making Disco Elysium almost unbelievably low risk, high reward. Signalis is a sci-fi survival horror inspired by Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and other artists like the creator of Neon Genesis Evangelion, Stanley Kubrick, and David Lynch. I love this one, which should be obvious given my last two videos have been about Signalis and are both really, really long. Honestly, I have nothing but good things to say about Signalis, I can't recommend it enough, and I expect it'll probably have that same effect on you. If you like, any survival horror, honestly, but also a trippy story with a nice retro aesthetic, this will not let you down. The final game for a longer section is actually two games, Blasphemous 1 and 2, both of which are on pretty steep discounts right now. In these hack-and-slash Metroidvanias, you act as the Penitent One, the lone survivor of a historic massacre. The game takes place in the nightmarish world of Custodia, filled to the brim with twisted religion and dark secrets. While the game is gruesome, its brutality is often beautiful, making Blasphemous a visual feast from start to finish. Both of these are great, and like everything else in this video, I really recommend them. Anyways, now it's time for our lightning round. I've got quite a few prepared, and I'm gonna go quick, so pay attention. Starting off, we have Balatro, a shockingly wild poker roguelike. It's much more interesting than it sounds, just give it a chance. Then there's all of New Blood, specializing in retro-styled FPS and immersive sims with a couple of wild cards thrown into the mix. I will preach their name till the day I die. Elden Ring, obviously, Sekiro, obviously, and while we're at it, go grab all the mainline FromSoft games. The Black Ops 3 Zombie Chronicles edition is about $20 right now, giving you the absolute best of COD round-based zombies for a very low price. Risk of Rain Returns and Risk of Rain 2 are both no-brainers. All of the Resident Evils are on sale, and I particularly recommend the remake of 2 and 4. Lies of P is 40% off, and it's probably one of my favorite Souls-likes ever. Fury is a fast-paced, boss rush bullet hell with great combat and music. Dying Light has zombies and parkour. What more do you need? It's also pretty much one of the best zombie games ever, at least in my opinion. Windlands is an exploration grapple hook game. Again, probably all you need to know, but it's great and I really recommend it. Riders Republic is a biking, flying, snowboarding, skateboarding, and more game with a massive, really interesting map to explore. It's also multiplayer. And Cyberpunk, which is fixed now, and it's incredible. Alright, well, I think I'm done. Thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you discovered some new games, or I helped you make some tough choices. Again, if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and drop a like, and also subscribe for more content like this. As always, thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, and I'll catch you in the next one.